game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white out. We gon' bump this shit real deep into the night out. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zoloft? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was.
Yo, I'm excited. This is the first, well, it's not the first breakdown, obviously, but it's basically the first weekly. It's basically the first breakdown of the football season this year, as far as the Sunday slate. You dig what I'm saying? How's everybody doing out there today, yo? I hate my truck, yo. So, well, I don't even want to say it's my truck, because my truck actually parked beside this truck, broken down. The truck that I drive currently, though, I hate it. I just want to know if this can't just happen to me. But if you somebody out there who don't have a top-notch truck, right, or car, but it gets you to where you need to go, do you have a problem with you park it at night, right? You come to go to work in the morning, or when you got to drive it that later the next day, and when you get into it, it's hotter in the inside of your car than it is on the outside. And it might not even be blazing hot outside. But in your car, in your vehicle, it's murky or mucky, hot, dry air everywhere. Or do that shit just happen to me? Because this shit pissing me. And I think it only happened in this truck, bro. Because it didn't happen in my previous. Well, it don't happen in my truck. But it happened in this one that I currently drive around. And I'm not happy about it. I'm going to be honest with you. But we're here to talk about the games. Let me run through the games real fast to tell you the scores and whatnot. Not going to be going through the stats. I had a conversation with myself this year. I said, am I going to spend too much time breaking down stats? I'm not. But we're going to get more into how the show going to probably go this year either way. But Bucks Cowboys was the Sunday night game. The Bucks won that 19-3. Ravens beat the Jets 24-9. Steelers beat the Bengals 23-20 in what was a wild fucking game. We're going to get back to that. Vegas was on the road. They lost to the Chargers 19-24. Derek Carr had 3 interceptions in that game. Actually, I think he had 4. No, I think he had 3. He had either 3 or 4. Miami, they won home opener against New England 7-20. KC went on the road and stomped Arizona 44-21. New York Giants opened the season with a win, yo. You remember how last year I talked about how the Giants couldn't even say that they done been above 500, even 1-0 for the past 5 or 6 years? Well, they can say that now. The Giants start the season 1-0 when they come back to beat the Tennessee Titans on the road 21-20. Green Bay loses on the road to Minnesota 7-23. Philadelphia wins on the road 38-35. 35 in Detroit in a high-scoring game. We're going to get to that one too. Jacksonville loses on the road to Washington 22-28. San Francisco on the road loses in a monsoon game against Chicago 10-19. New Orleans goes on the road in a comeback win. Atlanta good at giving these shits up. They beat Atlanta coming back to win 27-26. Denver was... I did not realize that was going to be right there. Denver in the Monday night game in Seattle. Russell Wilson returns to Seattle. I saw somebody tweet, yo, there was a Seattle fan. It was like, yo, I'm a Seattle fan. We won the game. We needed to win. Now let's tank. So this was a very important game for Seattle for some reason. But in a game in which Russell Wilson, the guy who took him to 2 Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl. I think that was the first Super Bowl win in history of the franchise. I could be wrong. However, they booed a man, and they also win the game 16-17. The Colts on the road come back to tie against the Houston Texans 2020. Cleveland on the road against Carolina in a revenge game from Baker Mayfield, a guy who was done so dirty by the Cleveland Browns, they say. Well, he loses 26-24. And that was the games from this Sunday and Monday, obviously. So, where should we start? Oh, you know what? Let's start with the Bucks Cowboys. So I saw. I'm gonna start with the games that I watched. The games that I did not watch, that I just might have saw glances of. I might have watched the highlights. I might have watched like portions of the game, the fourth quarter, or whatever. I'll talk about those last. And I don't watch all the games. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I watch every single game. But for the games that I do watch and the teams who I watch enough of, like, I'm not going to watch any team as much as I watch the Baltimore Ravens. Because the Baltimore Ravens are my favorite team. Or probably the Rams. Because the Rams... Yo, here's a conversation. Can you have two favorite NFL teams? Obviously, you're going to have your favorite NFL team that you claim. But can you have a favorite team in the opposite, like, conference? So my favorite team is Baltimore, right? Can I have a favorite team in the NFC? Now, I don't give a fuck how you answer this question because, I'm going to have the Rams as, one of my favorites. But see, the thing with me is my shit will change probably. I don't know if it'll change from the Rams anytime soon because I just like how Sean McVay run that organization. And I love Aaron Donald. But I'll root for whoever in the AFC, in the NFC, to be completely honest with you. And if the Ravens are knocked out of the playoffs or can't get to the Super Bowl, when the playoffs roll around, I'll depend on who I'm going for then too. I'm not bound by these laws of fandomhood, okay? But for the people out there who are, can you have two favorite NFL teams or two sports teams, period, in that case, in opposite conferences? Talk about it. But the Bucks Cowboys. So this game, the Cowboys defense looked good. Like, I don't think the Cowboys defense really looked that bad. They got called for a penalty here or there, like the Cowboys defense does. But to me, the storyline coming from this game, I don't even care that the Bucks couldn't convert because they only came away with 19 points. But if the Bucks were in that bag, if they could score points in this game, they would have had more than 19 points. So you can credit that to Dallas's defense, or you can credit that to it's the first game of the season. Brady and them boys have to get, they have to get used to each other again. Regardless, it was a win, and you'll take that either way you slice it. Because I've seen a couple teams this week where people say, like the analysts, like, oh, they had rough games. Bro, they won, and they scored 20-plus points. So... And it's the first game of the season, so, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I seen a lot of that to start the season, but I'm not concerned about the Bucks. I thought the Bucks defense looked great. Shit, you hold a team to 3 points, obviously you look great. The pass rush looked great. Now, the corners looked great, but I don't know if that's because they are great, because I do like their corners, Carlton Davis, the safety Winfield. My thing, though, is, are they great, or is Dallas receivers a little bit overrated now that they no longer have Amari Cooper there? Because it's a difference. It is a difference to be great when Odell Beckham is on your roster, and then you take him out, and now it's, the Browns actually don't have a good receiving core. And it's a difference between having, the Cowboys have a great receiving core. They got Amari Cooper, and it's a difference between, the Cowboys don't have weapons because they no longer have Amari Cooper, but they still have the weapons that were there when Amari Cooper was there. So it's a very interesting topic. And Michael Gallup didn't play either on Sunday night. Now, Dak is out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just going to say he'll probably be out for the 8 weeks, or 7 to 8 weeks, more than the 6, with a thumb injury. And I done seen a whole bunch of people talk about, like, the Cowboys got to find a way to get off of Dak. Dak is overpaid. People love telling people that they overpaid. It's a crazy concept. But with Dak Prescott specifically, if I was Dak, I'd be dead honest with you, bro. I got time right now. I know your thumb is broke or hurt on one finger, bro, but you got that other one, yo. I'd take a picture of me chilling in some rich shit, and I tweet it to you. Dead ass, bro. Since y'all so mad. But listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Dak Prescott's I saw somebody tweet like, yo, what does Dak do good? Not great, just good. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, that motherfucker's a good game manager when you allow him to be. Listen, Dak obviously has some deficiencies, but I don't care about how much Dak get paid, to be completely honest with you. For one, price point of a quarterback, Dak's not trash. So for one, to say Dak is overpaid to me is silly anyways. Plus, I just don't understand why broke people like talking about rich people's money. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I think the problem with Dak Prescott is just he does not have the ability at this moment to lift his guys up above better competition on a regular basis, on a consistent basis. That's why when he played against the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, the Pat Mahomes, guys of those calibers, teams that's led by quarterbacks who are held in high regard, it almost feel like sometimes Dak come into those games expecting to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because it feel like they start off the game, and this is a Dak problem, how you start off the game playing so bad when the game is out of control, then you start to pile up garbage yards or inflated numbers that don't matter. But it just feel like they vibe is all off the offense, because I thought the defense was great from start to finish in this game. Like, obviously, I think it's a different looking game if the Bucs was on their A game, but I mean the Cowboys did a great job to have. It was just a bad game for Dak. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know some people say, oh, well, Kellen Moore called a bad game too. I mean, I agree, but how can we just now start blaming? Because I really don't think Kellen Moore called a bad game as much as it is. I don't think Dak Prescott reads defenses as great as you would want him to read them, which is why it's so pivotal for him to have to be able to rely on a strong run game. Dak Prescott, when he can rely on, because one of the things I was thinking about this Sunday was, what is the difference between being a methodical quarterback who can get your team up the field methodically and a dink and dunker at this point? Like, what's the difference? Because back in the day, we called Peyton Manning and Tom Brady like, oh, they were methodical quarterbacks. They got you up the field methodically. Even Drew Brees. At one point, you had the Brett Favres and Aaron Rodgers, who we didn't really say they were methodical, but they like the gunslingers. At what point is it dinking and dunking, and is it being methodical? That's what I want to know. Because if you want to say that the shit that Dak do on a regular, because I feel like the Cowboys' offensive game plan is no different than some of the game plans I see around the NFL. A lot of guys run a lot of short routes, like a lot of dink and dunk type of routes to get you up the field. And I think the disadvantage in that is once you finally go down by a big margin, now you need big plays. Your offense is not used to hitting the big plays. Yeah, doing it in practice is one thing, but then you have to go out there and actually perform it in a game, and then dudes is off and not on the same rhythm and shit like that, and mistakes happen, and you can't come back from those big leads. Like, so I don't know, man. I wouldn't say Dallas. I definitely am not going to say Dallas should get rid of Dak Prescott. I don't agree with that at all. I think these type of things can be taught or learned at some point in time with it. It's certain things that you can't teach, but a lot of the things that I think Dak struggle with right now can be taught. I just think that this might be an organizational problem, or I think it might be an organizational problem with the Cowboys as to why they keep coming up short. And people blame, Zeke. People, excuse me. They were blaming Amari Cooper when he was here. I really think it was mismanagement too. Not even mismanagement as much as it was not reading your team or not really understanding what your team needed in the offseason when you trade away. Excuse me. When you trade away Amari Cooper. Because Dak Prescott so very clearly needed Amari Cooper. Like all top quarterbacks need their number one receivers, I thought that was silly to trade away Amari Cooper. Dead ass. Like, CeeDee Lamb would have shown you it was his turn to be the man if he had a phenomenal season with Amari Cooper there still. Dak's not going to just not throw it to CeeDee if he's destroying coverage, because he's going to build a confidence with CeeDee naturally. Is CeeDee out there killing? His confidence was still in Amari. I disagree with trading that dude away in order to help your money situation or whatever. So to me, and I do agree with people who say like, yo, Dak needs everything to be good or go right for him to be successful. And I do agree with that. I don't think it's a problem with having an Alex Smith type of quarterback as your quarterback. I just think when you have that type of quarterback, understand how you're supposed to pay him. But the thing is, Dak might be a better thrower. Excuse me. Well, you know what? Dak is pretty much Alex Smith at this point. I wouldn't say he greater than him. I wouldn't say he not as good as him. But it's a different age. You know what I'm saying? Dak could demand that type of contract, which I'm not mad at him for. But it's on the team to build around Dak now. It's on the team to understand what to put around him to make him. Bro, Joe Flacco's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. Neither is Trent Dilfer. Neither is a lot of other quarterbacks that led championship teams. They just have a great year. Because I don't think what people should be searching for is a dynasty. I think people should be doing exactly what the Rams are doing. Searching for a championship on a year-to-year basis. What can get us a championship this year? We'll worry about all that shit next year. And if we can figure out a way to turn this thing into like a 2 to 3 year stretch, cool. If not, at least we have a Super Bowl now. And if Dallas thought like that, I think they would be a better team. But this thought of, oh, we want to build through the draft. Like, I hated that Baltimore thought like that for so long. Like, oh, we got to build through. Like, yo, you done had great draft picks in the past. Yes, that's facts. But that's because you weren't as great as a franchise as you are now. You are now no longer bad enough to ever draft in a significant enough position to draft a player that's going to change your franchise. When you get those type of players, it's because you just nailed the draft. But you're never going to just be given that type of game-changing talent because you won't be drafting in these positions. It's almost as if Dallas don't trust that they'll be a good team on a year-to-year basis based off of how Jerry Jones and dudes done talked and how they done, operated this team. Listen, I get it. Micah Parsons is a great draft pick. If you're going into every season thinking you'll be high enough in the draft to get a Micah Parsons, mind you, Micah Parsons fell to them. But if you think you're gonna luck up with a Micah Parsons every year, or just think that you'll be able to draft high enough to get that type of player, or that you're good enough at developing your talent to become that type of player, Dallas is never getting back to the promised land. It's just not gonna happen. Then the left guard on that team, or the left tackle, Tyron Smith, I believe is his name, should have been released probably 2 to 3 years ago. Cannot stay healthy. Pay him his money and then find a replacement, a permanent replacement. Why are you constantly having a revolving door at that position? Why can you not let this dude go after so many? Maybe he will be good for another team and be able to stay healthy. You are not investing enough in that position, knowing that Dak Prescott is not the type of quarterback that can take you to the promised land on his own. Like, he can't just lift everybody else up, but if everything else around him great, you got it. Bro, you could have went young. Mind you, they passed up on Tyler Lindenbaum in the draft this year, so that was weird. But it's just so many different decisions that, to me, the Cowboys should. You don't get rid of Tyron, who has been nowhere near as productive for you the last couple years as Amari Cooper. But you get rid of Amari Cooper, who not only has been productive for you, I don't care if you try to nitpick the big games and shit, but he's also not just been productive for you. He's been the biggest reason your quarterback has been as productive as he has been for you. So I don't understand that. People keep talking about, oh, they need to find a way to get off of Ezekiel Elliott. I have heard nobody say they should figure something out with these offensive linemen who keep going in and out of the lineup on a yearly basis. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm a Baltimore fan. I'm not going to sit here and continue to tell people, yo, we got to continue to believe Ronnie Staley will stay healthy. If Ronnie Staley can't make it through an entirety of the season this year and be the dominant Ronnie Staley he was paid to be, then Baltimore going to have to figure something out with Ronnie Staley, because that would mean every fucking year since he got paid, he has not stayed healthy. It's just bad business not to try to figure something out with that situation. Much like the Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey has not played anywhere near full season since he got that deal in that big season he came off of. It's just bad business at this point if the Carolina Panthers continue to play Christian the way they were playing him, or to rely heavily on him. Like coming in on a yearly basis thinking that your team is going to be led through Christian McCaffrey when he done given you the last 3 years of not being able to be healthy on the field. That's bad business. That's stupid business, actually. So with Dallas, and also, speaking of that, now you look at the last 2 seasons, the last 3 seasons, Dak he was out for a whole one 2 seasons ago, and now this season he's going to miss a significant amount of time because of injuries. People like to talk about, Lamar, he going to be hurt because all the running he do. Dak Prescott's a pocket quarterback. He's now suffered 2 big injuries. So, I hope people know that the injury bug is not exclusive to quarterbacks who are mobile. I just want that to be known. Aaron Rodgers, the collarbone injury he suffered. We could go Peyton Manning, the neck injury. We could just go down the list, but I'm not going to do that to you. Either way, now you're in a situation with Dak. Since signing him to that contract, because I don't care about the contract you gave him. Now, as an organization, you have to decide, do we continue on with the Dak Prescott? Now, I don't think that you get rid of Dak Prescott. Like I said, I think you do different things to put around Dak Prescott. You have to heavily invest in getting rid of some of this old stuff and some of this old pricey shit and bringing in some youth that will complement Dak Prescott to a T. Now, some people might be like, that's a lot. That's a lot to do. This is what we got to work with. Well, fuck else we going to do? Dak Prescott's not Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, or, he's not a guy who I think can get it done. To be completely honest with you, I don't think Josh Allen is Lamar Jackson, but I think Josh Allen has grew into an even better quarterback at this point. But I'll have that conversation with the fact that you don't have anybody, even though he got CD, I don't think CD is actually a number 1 receiver, at least not yet. He is what he is, bro. It is what it is. Like, Dak is what he is. And if you don't realize that the investment have to go around Dak Prescott, now listen, it'll be hard to invest around him if he wants you to keep investing heavily in him. But that's the game you play. All I know is, and it's going to get interesting because I'm thinking to myself, would I replace Dak Prescott with Tua Tagovailoa? Would I replace him with Derek Carr? Would I replace him with, any of these other quarterbacks? And would he make those teams better if I replaced him with those? And I don't think so. So this going to be an interesting situation when contracts come back up for Dak and all these other type of things. Because I still would pay Dak as my franchise quarterback because I don't think Dak's a bad quarterback. I just know that he's not the quarterback. Let me put it like this. On a year-to-year basis, I know Dak's not going to be carrying this team. I know that. It'll be a big-time team effort, but we'll have a quarterback that is more than competent enough to have big games and things like that. What my expectation is that if I sign him to a 6-year deal, 2 of those years he will play out of his mind and will be in the Super Bowl 2 out of those years. So when I give him another contract off the back of that for, let's say, 4 years, I'm expecting 2 or 1 of those years to be a Super Bowl year because he's going to play out of his mind again. I'm expecting him to be consistent but have huge jumps sometimes to be, you know what I'm saying? That's what I see out of that. You could get that out of Dak if you put the right team around him. And obviously people talk about the money and all this other type of shit. But if you can do that, because Dak at some point going to understand what he is. And plus the market, people got to understand, the market is always going to decide what people get and what they negotiate. Dak Prescott has no reason to take a discount on his services if he knows when he hit the market, he'll make more. That's just the nature of it. So I'm saying what I'm saying about Dak right now. If Dak come back next year and pop off, then when his contract come up, if he pop off in that contract year, well, the market is going to say, fuck those previous years in which Dak struggled or whatever, or he couldn't lift the team by himself. I know what Dak was last year, and I think we can put a team around him to get that out of him and more, blah, blah, blah. So that just is what it is. But nonetheless, he's not going to be playing for the next couple weeks. So you got Cooper Rush in, and I personally think, and I don't want people to think, oh, man, he ain't talking about the Bucs enough, bro. We'll talk about the Bucs a lot on the show. I'm focusing on Dallas, because we don't talk about Dallas that much on this show, actually. But I think Dallas got to go try to make a trade. But I don't think, what's funny is the two teams that they should, I don't even think they should make this other trade. But the two teams that everybody's saying they should trade for, and the one that I do think they should try to trade for, I actually don't think neither of those two teams would actually make the trades. But I think they should call up Baltimore and like, yo, what y'all want for Tyler Huntley, bro? Now, I'm going to tell you, as the negotiator of the Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to tell you what I want for Tyler Huntley, all right? You can get Snoop. It's nothing. It's nothing. Now, I'm going to be honest, first off, before I get into that, if Baltimore was to get a call on Snoop and they refuse to trade him, that would tell me that Lamar Jackson is eventually leaving this team, because they want to keep Snoop because they know they're going to lose Lamar. And to which case, if they do that, I hope they trade Lamar, because they're going to try to get real shiesty with it and try to play in the public like we so nice, Lamar the one who doing everything. And I ain't for that bullshit. But if you want Snoop, my guy, I'll tell you what I'm going to need. I need Zach Martin. Oh, whoa, why would they give away Zach Martin? Bro, if Snoop turned out to be what we think he's going to be for y'all going to end up getting rid of Dak Prescott and making Snoop the franchise guy, and you probably going to hold him on his first contract. So what are we talking? Because you probably going to end up signing Snoop to a long-term contract before the motherfucker even become the full-time starter. So then you're going to push him into the starter role. He going to hold out. You probably going to still continue to hold him on his contract, make him feel like, oh, well, we got you from Baltimore as a backup, so you should be happy that we starting you. You know, all that goofy shit the motherfuckers like to do, and the fans going to throw it in his face. Oh, you was nothing before we got you out of Baltimore. You know, they're going to do that type of ignorant shit to try to make Snoop feel bad. I can see that whole situation being a disaster, and basically Snoop getting hold on his contract and taking Dallas places Dallas has haven't been in years, with the proper development around them. Because, you know, I see a lot of people blaming Mike McCarthy for everything also, and I don't think Mike McCarthy the greatest coach in the world. I thought his tenure in Green Bay towards the back end was kind of, you know, stale. But, you know, Dallas, like I said, it just feels like an organizational problem at this point in time. But I do think they should go try to make a real offer for Snoop. And like I said, as the Baltimore Ravens negotiated, bro, I'm going to need Zach Martin. Because Snoop, like I was just explaining, is a franchise guy for you in the long term. You know, that's best case scenario. For us, we get Zach Martin for like 1 to 2, 3 more years. Unless him playing in Baltimore for a winning organization completely revitalize his career. You know what I'm saying? Because we could get a dude who's going to be disgruntled. Oh, I didn't want to leave Dallas for the Baltimore. I'm retiring after this year. You know what I'm saying? We can end up putting up with that bullshit. So, it's got to be that. Some people would say, yo, trade for CD. Don't want CD Lamb. Don't actually think that's a trade that we should make. Because for one, he about to get paid. You didn't pay Marquise Brown, so why would you trade for CD Lamb, who I do think is better than Marquise, but not that much better than Marquise, and neither one of them to me are number one receivers or shouldn't be. So why would you even go through that when you didn't want to go through it with Marquise? That would be foolish. But this trade got to start with Zach Martin for me. That's the only person on the Cowboys I have any interest in, Zach Martin. And like I said, some people are like, oh, that's a steep price. Not Zach. Well, all right then. Don't get a quarterback. Just go sit through let Cooper Rush try to go out there and hope, wishful thinking that Cooper Kupp gonna steal you a couple wins. If Dak is out for 6 to 8 weeks, you think Coop finna luck up 6 to 8 times against professional football teams trying to go get a Super Bowl? You think Cooper Rush is gonna luck up 6 to 8 times? Now that just don't make no sense. And then the other guy people talk about is Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think they're gonna go for him. I wouldn't mind them going for him. I just don't think they will, because I don't think San Fran gonna really trade for him. Like I think they're going to keep him until the end of the year where he's a free agent. I don't think San Francisco have any. They're not trading him. They're not trading him. Now I'll get to that last. let's talk about this crazy game, this Steelers game. Yo, this Steelers game was crazy. This shit was wild, son. This shit was wild, son. So the Steelers ended up going into Cincinnati and winning 23-20. This was a pretty wild game. The Steelers were up early in this game. And of course, because the Steelers are an offensively challenged football team, you know, the Bengals ended up making a comeback. But the storylines coming from this game, TJ Watt did get injured, tore his tricep. I think they said he won't need surgery. He'll be able to just let it heal or rehabilitate it. And he should be back within like 7 or 8 weeks. So, hoping that he heal up. Cam Hayward still look like a beast, though. Joey Burrow had 4 interceptions and a fumble, I believe. Jamar Chase scored like 3 touchdowns in the last minute, and only one of them counted. Just a wild game. So, you know, the Bengals coming to this off of being in the Super Bowl last year, one of the Super Bowl favorites this year. Not a bigger favorite than the Bills, I don't think, but they are one of the Super Bowl favorites to make it to the Super Bowl this year. Everybody thought they were going to beat Pittsburgh. I'm so happy. Yo, Mike Tomlin. I don't know why I'm doing all this yawning. Mike Tomlin. He got all his guys black Air Force Ones, son. He bought his team black Air Force Ones before the game. This dude, fucking Mike Tomlin, keep doing shit to make me like him, bro. Well, I already like Mike Tomlin, but, you know, shit like that make me like him more. And then after the win, this motherfucker was putting his shit on. Put your shit on. Like, that motherfucker was putting his shit on. Y'all can't see me, but I'm putting my shit on, too. Shit was crazy. He was smooth with it. I literally thought to myself, man, John Harbaugh, go to the locker room and do some fire shit with the team, cuz. White people, you might not understand, you know, my Caucasian folks listening. You might not really, you know, understand this next comment. The smart ones will. For the African-American people of color in that locker room, specifically the African-American men in the locker room for the Pittsburgh Steelers, to have an African-American head coach that's as cool as Mike Tomlin, it's no wonder people talk as highly as they do of him. Do you know how big that is for a lot of these black dudes in the locker room who might not have grew up with father figures to have Mike Tomlin right there? Something they can look at. He looked like me. He looked like me. He is successful as me. You know how big that is? That's huge. I'm glad the Steelers never fold and fire this man like people keep trying to get them to do a couple years ago, man. Mike Tomlin's a great head coach. But I swear to you, the Steelers truly do embody this play like a Steeler or whatever their motto is, because Mike Tomlin teams truly they go out there and they battle you, bro. It's going to be ugly. It ain't been pretty in a long time. Like, a Pittsburgh Steeler game ain't been pretty in a long time. But they say they blue collar and they like this rough and gritty and hard working. Well, it'd be hard work getting through them Pittsburgh games. Them shits is never pretty anymore. There might be a Pittsburgh fan out there who only been living through this era for like the last couple years. So they like, what are you talking about? We always been rough and gritty. I would like you to go check out Pittsburgh Steelers Triple Bs or the 3 Bs. And even before that, go look at how prolific this offense was and how nasty the defense was. You didn't have to grind out these type of wins back in the day. I mean, a couple years ago, I'm trying to tell you. But listen, it just embodies that Mike Tomlin don't care about how much talent you think you have on your side of the football. I'm a better head coach than you. My players want it more than yours. We're going to win this game because we're willing to go to the depths. We're willing to dig with our hands to get these dubs. And I respect that shit. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Because they really walk around with that take your helmet off and sling it at your bitch ass type energy. Even though that shit happened to them coincidentally. Professionally, You know what I'm saying? They handle their business as if they have the mindset of I will take your helmet off and pop you in your big ass cranium with this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying they'll go out there and do it. I'm not sitting here and explaining this to you. But listen, I have a lot of respect for how the Pittsburgh Steelers carry themselves. I done made that very clear over this past year I've been doing this. Even though I'm a Baltimore fan, I got a shit ton of respect for the Steelers. And at some point in time in this game, I tweeted, the Steelers out here doing the Lord's work. And I knew I tweeted that too early as soon as I hit send, because I was like, yo, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a mid offense, below mid. I'm not being disrespectful, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I watch these games too. Okay? So I knew they were going to come back. Joe Burrow wasn't going to be able to turn the ball over forever, even though he tried. But to see the end of this game, Joe Burrow and the Bengals, after playing such a ugly game, get in position to win this game after scoring with like 14-something seconds left in the game. And Evan McPherson has his field goal blocked by Minkah Fitzpatrick, Minkah is turning out to be one of the greatest trades in NFL history. Because I truly looked at that game Sunday and thought to myself, why the fuck did the Dolphins trade this dude? For as little as they traded him for. Like, if this dude was this great and you could not get this out of him, if you didn't realize how great this dude, that's a problem. Because you got Byron Jones, Xavier Howard. Like, it makes no sense to not have been able to figure this dude out. Like, Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best strong safety in football right now. One of the best safeties in football right now. He can cover. He can come down and hit. He can play the run, play in the box, play out in coverage. Like the motherfucker is a modern day Cam Chancellor. You know how much I love Cam Chancellor on this channel. One of my favorite players to watch all time. To me, Cam Chancellor was one of the best strong safeties to ever play. People don't get this motherfucker enough credit. People always thought, Cam Chancellor, that's a big old box safety. They call him Bam Bam, and, he hit hard. No, he did that very well. He did that at an unbelievably exceptional level. The motherfucker could play in coverage too. And some people don't realize that for some reason. Go back and watch Cam's highlights. That motherfucker could play in coverage. Minkah Fitzpatrick can play in coverage. And that's always a fear you have with safety sometimes, that they more of a linebacker that's undersized than they actually are a safety, because you play them in the box so much because they really ain't good at covering in space. I personally would not want a safety who couldn't cover in space. That's one of the things that make the Buffalo Bills so good, because they got two safeties that can cover in space. And you top that off with the fact that you have a phenomenal, probably the best nickel corner in football. And you have Tre'Davious White on the outside. And they drafted Buddy in the draft to play the other side of the secondary for the Buffalo Bills, along with the fucking defensive line now because of Von Miller. Jesus Christ. I see why everybody got Buffalo going to the Super Bowl, bro. I really do. But when I look at Minkah Fitzpatrick, like, Jesus Christ, this dude is unreal. He's going to be in the conversation. I would love to see Minkah win Defensive Player of the Year. A strong safety winning that shit. And for the Steelers, that'll be huge, because people are automatically like, yo, Troy Polamalu. I'm telling you, that shit'll be sick. So I would love that. But you go into overtime after that miss. Pittsburgh's offense. Pittsburgh offense is going to need, I don't even know what you would do at this point. I think this is because Deontay Johnson made a phenomenal catch in overtime. And I think Deontay Johnson is a good receiver. I actually think they got two good receivers. Plus, Pittsburgh know how to draft receivers. As soon as Pittsburgh find out the quarterback position, this team is going to be a perennial Super Bowl contender again, because the defense is going to be good. I'm glad Mike Tomlin, I shouldn't be glad about this because they play in our division, but Mike Tomlin done figured out his defense over the last couple years, because it was a stretch there where the defense was not good for Pittsburgh. Now, he done figured out over the last 2 to 3 years, Mike Tomlin's defense has been great again. That's one of the reasons they won this game. The defense for the Steelers was unbelievable. Cam Hayward just won't get old. You just pray that TJ Watt can get healthy, because this motherfucker's a menace. He had an interception in this game. The cornerbacks, you never really know their names, but they hold up and they do what they got to do. Obviously, your Pittsburgh's pass rush is the biggest thing. You don't never want their corners to be exposed for too long, but Let him fuck around and find some cornerbacks again, too, like he got the best out of Joe Hayden in the back end of his career and whatnot. I'm telling you, Mike Tomlin's influence on this team, bro, man, amazing. And I'm going to keep saying that I don't think Zach Taylor is actually a good head coach. People crowned him a great head coach after the shit that him and Joe Burrow did last year. And I didn't even see people say that Joe Burrow is a product of Ja'Marr Chase at this point. It's funny that the biggest plays is always made by Ja'Marr Chase, but I know that it's a lot of talent on this team, which is why I think Joe Burrow is not going to be throwing 4 interceptions on a regular basis. If he is, then that will say that he is more of a Ryan Fitzpatrick than anything else. I do think he will see different type of coverages this year based off of how great they played last year, because teams are going to go into games knowing, okay, they got 3 great receivers, but the best receiver on this team and the game-changing receiver on this team is Ja'Marr Chase. They got 3 great receivers, but it's only one that's a game changer. That is Ja'Marr Chase. If we let Ja'Marr Chase go crazy, we can lose this game. The other 2 go crazy, we can still compete. Ja'Marr Chase go crazy, we probably not going to be able to beat them, because then everybody else gets involved. And then Joe Mixon get involved. So it's a lot of offense of pieces and weapons, but if you mix a great defense with undisciplined football by the Bengals, this is the shit that's going to happen. The Bengals also got to understand they're going to be getting teams' best efforts this year. Not because they won the Super Bowl, but because of the shit talk of their corner. I mean, of their, well, you could say Eli Apple too, but the receivers and Joe Burrow going on a shit talk tour in the offseason, which I'm fine with. I have no problem with players doing that. But players be having problems with players doing it. So naturally, as soon as you start feeling like the big dog, motherfuckers want to hate you and knock you down. So the Bengals got to know that that's what people, especially when you playing against the Steelers and the Ravens, 2 teams that you went out of your way to talk about during the offseason. You didn't talk about the Browns because they swept you last year. Imagine that. You talked about the Ravens and the Steelers, but you couldn't. Even though it's funny that they talked about the Ravens and the Steelers, because that was the first time really that they didn't have great years against either of these 2 teams also. But you know what I'm saying? It's a new team now. New team, right? But the Bengals going to be getting teams' best shots. So, you know, they better come prepared. But, you know, I don't think that this will be the usual outcome for Bengals offense. But I do think teams are going to be playing them way different than they played them last year at times. Like, I'm seeing teams play so many different fucking DBs on the field at the same time now, saying just fuck the linebacker. Have DBs out there that can cover. So it's going to be very interesting to see Joe Burrow have to actually break down some complicated coverages this year, because I'm guaranteeing you that's what they about to see. They're going to see so much nickel. I would love to see Joe Burrow take on the Buffalo Bills. I got to figure out if that's a game that's happening this year. Because Joe Burrow and the Bengals love to play with 3 receivers on the field. And the Bills love to play out of a nickel with 4 or 5 corners and DBs on the field. It's going to be interesting seeing them play against Baltimore. Because Baltimore play with so many great corners. Marcus Williams. Let's hit Marcus Williams. I'm telling you. Y'all let the wrong team get that, man. I love the Bills safety duo. Neither one of them 2 safeties on their own are better than Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is legitimately a top 5 safety in football. And he ain't 5 or 4. You can debate him in the top 3. So I should have just said that. Chuck Clark, to me, is not. I'm not going to get into that right now. But Marcus Williams is a stud. Him on that Baltimore defense, with a healthy Marcus Peters, with a healthy Marlon Humphreys, with the front that we have now that was able to put so much. I was surprised to see our pass rush look like that Sunday. I really was. But the Steelers get an opportunity in overtime after the Bengals failed to make a field goal. They shank a field goal that was right there. So it's like the football god saying, like, basically, yo, fuck y'all. Because eventually the Steelers missed, and the Bengals missed again, and then the Steelers finally made one to end the game. The Broncos game on Monday night, bro. They tried to send that man out there to hit a 64-yard field goal. I know I already released it, but I couldn't remember the actual number on the field goal. 64 yards, bro. So that's what we doing now? We setting our team up to go for 64-yarders, bro. They had 3 timeouts. They wasted 30-plus seconds off of the clock to set up a 64-yard field goal, bro. You lose if you let Russ go for it and he don't get it on pick up the first. But you got extra plays after that. You lose and don't get extra plays at all if you just straight up miss this field goal. From 64 fucking yards, bro. That is not Justin Tucker on your sideline, bro. I don't give a fuck if Adam Vinatieri was on my sideline. The only kicker who I'm going to be confident that I'm going to waste that type of time to set up a 64-yard field goal confidently, bro. He got the kicker going on Twitter talking about some fucking that's the new mark in the NFL. I got to hit that. Bro, that's not the new mark in the NFL. That's the mark for motherfuckers who actually can hit that. Only stupid coaches is the coach woke up and said, you know what, I should actually let Russ go for it this morning. You don't say. Now, like I said, that's not why they lost that game. But, boy, it didn't help them win it. It didn't help the effort swing and winning it. I will say that. That was pretty nuts. But the Vegas and the Chargers game, the Chargers ended up losing that game 19-24. And pretty much why I picked the Chargers to finish ahead of the Raiders in this division. And really why I'm about to probably put the Raiders to finish last in this division even under the Broncos. Is because I don't trust Derek Carr more, and I love Derek Carr. I don't trust him more than I trust the other 3 quarterbacks in this division. People saying Russ struggled on Monday night. The man threw for 340 yards and a touchdown. Could have had more if not for the fumbles by the fucking running backs in the end zone twice. Like, I understand they didn't win. It was things they could have done better. Russell Wilson was not the problem. Like, I don't understand that. I looked at that game and thought to myself the entire time, like, yo, this is a great offense for Russell Wilson. Like, this is exactly what I like to see. Like, he going to be... I don't know what people... I saw 2 different games, I guess. I saw a different game than what y'all saw, I guess, for the people who thought Russ struggled. But I don't trust Derek Carr the way I trust Russ, Pat Mahomes, and Herbert. I just don't. And, he had 3 interceptions in this one, or 4. I can't remember how many exactly, but some bad throws. And I don't even think Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. I just don't think he is none of those other 3. I don't think his ceiling is those other 3. And he got Davante Adams, and Davante Adams is going to make a difference. He had more yards than the entire Packers offense this Sunday, I think they said. So, or they receiving core. So that's crazy. But even as great as Davante Adams is, and Khalil Mack had 3 sacks in this game. I told y'all this motherfucker being lined up beside Joey Bosa is going to be different. But, yeah, I think I'm going to put the Raiders to finish last in the division. Because it's going to depend. I need to see the Raiders play the Broncos. Because Russ rutted to so many sacks. I need to see how he play against the Raiders. But nonetheless, that was a good win for the Chargers at home. But I do find it concerning at times. Okay, so the Chargers, matter of fact, no, I don't. But the Chargers, I do, but I understand this game. The Chargers, to have such a prolific quarterback, everybody talk, the pro quarterback, they had 24 points. But somehow nobody talk about their offense struggling. But somehow the Ravens, who also scored 24 points, Lamar had 3 touchdown passes, they struggled against the Jets, the offense. So it's very weird. I even saw Michael Irvin say because Lamar decided not to run, he wasn't as good. So I'm so confused how this narrative and goalposts keep moving and flop. It's shit's wild. But Keenan Allen got hurt. I have not actually saw an update on him, so that'll be interesting to see what happened with that. But Keenan Allen did get hurt, so prayers up to Keenan Allen. KC took on Arizona and won 44-21. I was watching this game, and then I changed it. I was like, once KC got to that, 2-touchdown lead part, and it clearly was, visibly clear that the Cardinals wasn't coming back in this game. Like, Kyler wasn't influencing no type of... I changed this shit. And this is what I was saying, bro, when I was talking about my NFC divisional winners, if I didn't release that video yet. Kyler Murray, you would think at this point in time, would influence his team. Like, they would play. Like, when you see Kyler v. Mahomes, you should think, oh, that's a big game. You know what I'm saying? You thought that when he first came into the league, but now that's done worn off. I don't think that when I see Kyler Murray taking on a great quarterback. Because, for one, I hate watching that offense. 2, it looked like it's a non-existent offense without D-Hop. 3, I don't like how they run offense on that team. Because of how I said because of how they run their offense, if they are losing bad, they're not coming back at all. They have no shot because of how poor their offense looks. But if they are winning or in the game, their offense can do some things and make the game very exciting. It's really a flip of a coin type of thing with them. No in-betweens. And so because of that, I'm a little bit, I told you, I don't think the Cardinals are making the playoffs this year. I just don't think Kyler Murray done hit that level of I'm making the playoffs every year type of quarterback. I can get this team to the playoffs every year type of quarterback. When we go into the season every year, the expectation is not the playoffs, it's the Super Bowl, because I know I'm getting us to the playoffs. I don't care who's in this division. Pat Mahomes came into the season with the expectation being a Super Bowl because he did not give a fuck about the additions made in his division this year. He knew he was getting his team to the playoffs. You do not get that feeling when you watch or, with Kyler Murray. So, I think that's a problem. But, hey, it is what it is. Cleveland, Carolina, 26-24. Listen, I picked Cleveland to win this game. Carolina almost won this game. I don't think it was indicative of the throws that Baker made down the stretch because he missed a whole bunch of throws throughout the game. Carolina came back because of the offensive challenged Cleveland Browns team. Jacoby Brissett is just missed for every throw Baker missed, Jacoby missed 3. So that's basically Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt put on a clinic of how to run a team to a victory. That's what that was. However, Cleveland's secondary is garbage. And I didn't know if I wanted to say that at first, but the more and more I look at this fucking defense, bro, this defense really give up a lot of big plays. Not only do they give up a lot of big plays, it feel like once they take a lead or once they get comfortable, maybe 2 quarters into a game, they just lose all type of focus at times. Like, this should not be a team that need Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney provide pressure to be great. It would be nice that they do their jobs and provide pressure, but they shouldn't have to get to the quarterback in 0.2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because our secondary have the players where we should be able to hold up for a second at least. This secondary have so many breakdowns. So many times where they just leave guys wide open. So many times where they cannot stay with receivers. Like, I don't know what is wrong with the Browns secondary. People always say, oh, it's injuries, or they're young. Bro, the Browns got to figure something out. Because they should have lost this game based off of how bad the secondary played in the back end of this game and just leaving Robbie Anderson running wide open down the field, bro, because of a busted coverage. How is he running behind your deepest safety, bro? So, I don't know what the fuck the Browns got going on with this. Like, that defense for the Browns, I already have been thinking about, not necessarily the defense, the secondary. The secondary has been bothering me with the Browns. Like, not bothering me in the sense of, oh, man, it's getting on my nerves. More in the sense that, like, is this a good secondary? I don't think this is a good secondary. You let Baker Mayfield light your ass up like that towards the back end of this game to basically almost lose. I don't know about that one. Plus, Cleveland just won the game that they, much like the Seahawks, they won the game they needed to win because I don't know how many more games they're going to be able to pull off this year because this is an offensively challenged team. What's going to be interesting is Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. How many games can they win you before Deshaun get back? A game with them in Pittsburgh going to be very ugly and boring to a lot of people. That's going to be an AFC North showdown, though, for sure. But, that was just an interesting takeaway I had when I watched that Carolina game. Baker Mayfield is still mid to me. The Colts in Houston, I want to rescind something. I said I didn't think Matt Ryan was really that great anymore or good anymore. Matt Ryan had a good game. Now, this is where that another situation come in. Is it methodical getting up and down the field, or is it dinking and dunking? Which one is we calling it with Matt Ryan, what he doing? Because I think you could call it methodical at times. I'll say it's methodical. Matt Ryan really don't have an arm to chuck it down the field. He never really had a strong arm, but he definitely ain't got that arm no more now. So he have to be a methodical type of quarterback. Now, I don't think the way the Colts run, they just tied against the Colts, and they was down big at one point in time in this game against the Texans. I don't think that Matt Ryan, I don't think the Colts can play offense like this and get to the playoffs. Too many good offenses in the NFL. And what's funny is nobody in their division won Sunday. Two of the teams played in the division played against each other. So it's just absolute madness. But I don't trying to decide. Nah, they could play offense like that and get to the playoffs, because this division is going to be so bad, in my opinion. You could play the offense so I actually think that the Colts could make the playoffs in this division. I'm still going to stick with the Jaguars as my pick to win this division if they could figure out how to get very prolific on offense. But I don't like the way, I don't want to say I don't like it. I don't think that the way you play offense with the Colts right now with Matt Ryan, the way they play is like you play against a great defense. That performance by Matt Ryan to me would have probably resulted in 2 or 3 interceptions and a blowout. Like, I just don't think that type of way of playing offense, having to rely on that many completions, long drives, getting all the way up if you can't have big plays and the only big play you can make is with your running back, I just don't see too much faith or success for you in the future. So that's my thoughts on the kicker for the Colts too, bro. Like, they released him, but Jesus Christ. Motherfucker kicked two kickoffs, motherfucker kicked out of bounds. What we doing here? What we doing here, buddy? But the next game, oh no, we already did Denver, Seattle. New Orleans, Atlanta. Listen, Atlanta, I didn't watch this game, so I can't talk too much about it, but I do know that Atlanta blew a lead in this game once again, as they do. For some reason, Atlanta is very good at blowing leads. I saw the coach was mad about it after the game. He had like a real testy little thing. Listen, my boy, that's on y'all, bro. Y'all got to figure that out. Why the fuck do this organization continue to blow these type of leads? Why do we continue to be the laughing stock of they got a lead and then they lost the game? You know what I'm saying? Because they should have won the game. Jameis and them boys ain't all on the same page yet, but great teams find ways to win. That's the most I could say about it in that. And I am kind of mad that my boy Jameis ain't the one who had the quote. Well, after the game, they said pain everywhere. I felt pain everywhere. But the quote that was hilarious was Geno Smith's quote, where this man said after the game, "They wrote me off. I ain't right back though." Hey, that was the problem. They wrote me off. I ain't write them back though. I wish Jameis Winston had been the one to deliver that, bro. Do you know how much better Jameis would have delivered? I'm thinking in my head how Jameis would have delivered that shit, bro. Jameis would have delivered that shit with so much conviction, with so much gall. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jameis would have felt pain everywhere. He would have been prepared for that to deliver. Man, I'm so mad that Jameis. It's not a lot of shit. Well, I do ask for a lot, I guess. One of the things I really wish is that Jameis. I just want Jameis to still say the shit and give bruh credit. I'm mad Jameis ain't the one who came up with that quote, bro. Dead ass. But that's a smooth ass quote by Geno, bro. Shout out Geno for that. As a matter of fact, real quick too, because I was talking about everything on that game. Geno, bro, great game by Geno. I hope he can keep this going. I like seeing players be able to have these type of resurgences in their careers and shit like that to continue to make big money. I respect that. I love that. I want everybody to make generational wealth so they children's never have to see a struggle and can grow up actually being able to be in a comfortable environment and space where they know I can chase my dream and I have to worry about money, the next meal, and all those type of things. People say your money can't get you happiness and all these type of things, and that's facts in some cases. But what money can do is secure an environment in a lot of cases and secure you a comfortable way to chase your dreams in the future, because a lot of people can't chase their dreams because they're not in a financially comfortable circumstance, or their parents can't afford to allow them to chase the dreams the way somebody who do have money. So I love it when these athletes can make as much money as possible, because I understand this don't just affect them. This affects their children, their children's children, if they play this thing right. And they only get a select amount of time to do this before they have to go over and try to make money in the media and elsewhere. But it's not going to be the same money that they made in the NFL, in hockey, in baseball, and things like that. So when they in this thing, I want them to get the money while they're here. So I'm glad Geno, got, and they was chanting Geno's name in the stadium. It was rocking in Seattle. Shout out to that crowd. That shit was crazy. Anytime I can feel the crowd rocking through the TV, I'm like, that's it right there. New England and Miami, tough game for Mac Jones. But I done spoke on this multiple, and good game for Tua. It wasn't the greatest game, but people gonna hate on Tua. I saw somebody, Sean Payton said that he think Teddy Bridgewater is going to replace Tua at some point in time this season. Why would that happen? Like, bro, if he was saying that about like a good quarterback, I get it. Teddy Bridgewater replacing, if not for injury, then he ain't replacing no Tua, bro. I'm not getting into that. But Mac Jones is in a terrible situation, man. I done said it multiple times. Mac Jones is not in a great situation. People are going to say Mac's a bad quarterback, when in actuality, he's not being developed properly. And this might be one of the products of having the GOAT quarterback for so long. You thinking that you know how to build up a quarterback, when in actuality, Tom was Tom. He didn't really need y'all to be for him. And so I think Mac is in a actual trash situation with coaches that don't know what the fuck they doing when it comes to developing him, developing a good offense. They went out and did nothing in the offseason to make Mac Jones better, more comfortable, or anything like that. So I hope Mac Jones end up with a team that actually want to invest in him. But I actually fear that his career could get shot playing with the Patriots, because people are going to look at him like, oh, well, he couldn't work with Bill, instead of actually letting those Super Bowls that this man won with Tom Brady out of their head and say to themselves, well, Bill didn't actually do everything he fucking should have and could have done to make this man any better. So that's my thoughts on that. New York coming back to beat Tennessee. Saquon Barkley is clearly the conversation coming out of this game. If this man can stay healthy and put together it's a contract year too, so it's actually funny. He probably is going to stay healthy and put together a great year. He probably end up staying with New York, because they'll probably give him the best deal. But I don't know what that deal look like, because it's very hard to, even if Saquon have a great year, to pay him after these last couple years. So that'll be interesting, but a great game for Saquon. And great win for the Giants, bro. They could say their team can finally say they 1-0. It all go downhill from here, though. Green Bay, Minnesota, 7-23. I talked about that on the previous video when I talked about right after the game. They lost that game. And like I said in that one, Aaron Rodgers got to have better body language. Obviously, you want your receivers to make those catches. But it's a process, especially when you didn't play in the preseason. I don't really think that mattered too much. But Aaron Rodgers also didn't have a shit ton of practice time with his receivers also this offseason from a lot of reports. So it's going to be a process, bro. You can't treat them as if like they should come out there and be Devontae Adams. And you should instill confidence in them even when you pissed off at them. And instead of pouting and shit like that on the sidelines and showing them up in front of everybody. I understand, we grown men, we all make millions. Well, a lot of them don't make that yet. And two, they are grown, but they are still young men at the end of the day who aren't fully developed and been in the league as long as your old ass. So, that's all I'm saying. But I fuck with Rodgers. Philadelphia, Detroit. Great game. 38-35. Did not watch this game in its entirety. I caught back ends of this game. This is what I want to say, though. Y'all know I'm not a big stat person. What I want to say is this, though. I told you, I don't care if Jalen Hurts become a pocket quarterback. As long as you can figure out how to put together 28 to 30 points a game. 25 to 30, 28 points a game. And what this dude did is he threw for 250 plus yards, maybe even up to 300. Rushed for 90 plus yards. That's effectiveness. That is a hell of an impact. And then you got AJ Brown, 10 catches for 155 yards or something like that, or 9 catches for 155 yards. That's impact. That's what you need out of your two best players on your team. Nick Sirianni, like I said last year, at some point in time, once I went on that little fake rant about him having to like buy into what Jalen Hurts do, like the Ravens did for Lamar, and that's how you get the best out of this, they doing it. They're doing it, and they doing it at a better rate to me than Baltimore. Baltimore showed them the blueprint, and they're taking it to the max because they already went out and can actually say, we invested in a receiver in A.J. Brown. Unlike Baltimore, who keeps saying, oh, we invest in receivers. We draft them in the first round. Man, fuck you, bro. I'm tired of hearing people say that for Baltimore. It really is very frustrating that people do that. But that's neither here nor there. Jacksonville, Washington. I did not watch this game at all. I did not watch the clips from this game. But I see that Jacksonville lost this game 22-28. I'll probably talk about this one more on the next episode that's coming out when I watch this game. But I didn't watch this game. But shout out to Washington on picking up a dub. Dallas, the only team in the division that didn't get a win. In San Francisco and Chicago, I mean, what else could I say, man? Listen, I understand neither quarterback really had a great game, but it's hard to have a great game in those type of weather conditions. I saw people saying, of course, Chicago's field looked like this. That's harsh. But, hey, could be true. I don't know. But, listen, it's hard to judge. I mean, it was a tough game. People like, yo, Jimmy Garoppolo got to start now. Like, bro, I don't understand how people so fast to want to bench this dude, Trey Lance. Like, what other quarterback do we expect to come in, even when they was on a good team, and be great immediately? Like, this shit's so crazy, bro. Y'all done been spoiled by Lamar, even though they don't give him credit for the fact that he have came in and been great instantly. Pat, Mahomes, Allen, like Burrow, dudes is coming in and being great off rip, and so now it's killing these other dudes who come in and not great off rip. The shit's crazy. But Chicago ended up getting a win. It's an ugly game, but hey, everybody have to go watch the video at the end of the victory snap and when Justin Fields and them boys slid through the field with all that rainwater or whatever on the field. Great sights. But that's a recap of all the games this week. I will be back to break down the Thursday night, to prepare for a Thursday night football game. I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.